Welcome to the Pittsburgh Dish. I'm your host, Doug Allman. What happens when you pair technology and a network of volunteers to rescue perfectly good food from going to waste? We learn all about the good work of 412 Food Rescue. And later in the show, how are Swifties helping the white wine industry? Catherine Montest shares the trend of Sancerre. All that ahead. Stay tuned. The Pittsburgh Dish is supported by Chef Alyssa. Want to perfect your cake piping, sharpen your knife skills, or simply create a batch of pasta from scratch? Visit her website at chefalyssa.com to see upcoming classes or book your own personal culinary experience. Now, on to the show. Thank you both so much for coming over and for being on the show. Would you introduce yourselves to our listeners and what you have going on in the world of food? And Alyssa, can we start with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having us here. I'm Alyssa Cholodofsky. I'm the CEO of 412 Food Rescue. And it's in our name, food. So we're always doing food and getting good surplus food from one place to another very quickly, answering two urgent needs. One is the amount of food that's wasted and still good, and then a number of people who are unfortunately experiencing food insecurity.
Yes. And Greg, how about you? What's your role at the organization?
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks you for having us, Doug. My name is Greg Austin. I'm the Director of Distribution Initiatives at 412 Food Rescue. My background is in hospitality and cooking, hospitality management, and chef work. Mm-hmm. So it's been a really interesting kind of about face for me to do this work. I learned a lot of things early on with, I'm still working with food, but it's almost the reverse of how I mentally approached it.
You used to think about it. Yeah.
We're looking at depth of impact through what we can do with that food. Like, how can we manipulate that food to create the most impact? We look for the meals. We're looking at getting nutrition at like very specific intervention points for people who are in food deserts, for people who are in different at-risk positions in their life, right? Mm-hmm. So we're looking at like new single mothers. We're looking at mostly like the Medicaid long-term services, mm-hmm. right? So we're focused on that. We're focused on how it's the only place in the organization that we store food.
Okay.
Everything else is moving very quickly.
This is at the Good Food Project in
correct.
Millvale. And so this is where you are preparing, say, a ready-to-heat meal.
That's correct.
Or you also have volunteers that come in and help bag groceries for like fresh produce or ready to make food.
And even prepare the meals. The volunteers help us do that as well.
More opportunities for people.
So fun.
I love it. And really trying to look for, I imagine, the deepest impact. It's such a complex organization and there's so many places in need. So you're trying to probably coordinate where can we have the most.
Where can we do the most?
Right.
What's the most bang for our buck?
Right.
Just because it is, we're looking in comparison to that 5 million pounds. So we have a limited amount in comparison to that. Mm-hmm. What do we do with that?
And Alyssa, getting back to the organization overall, it's been going for over 10 years now, correct? 2015.
Yes. Yeah. So last year we celebrated our 10-year anniversary, a decade of really amazing impact for a small organization like us. And we're looking forward to what we're working on next. We really saw that there was a problem in the amount of surplus food that was still good and how to get it quickly to people. So realizing that the problem isn't that there isn't enough food. There's plenty of food to go around. It's the logistics of it. How do you get food, especially produce, perishable food, breads, things like that, quickly from point A to point B. And when you're thinking about that point B, it's people in communities who are coming to nonprofit organizations already. They may be coming for a housing need or education need. So we're able to pull up with our truck or have one of our volunteers drop off food so those individuals can take that with them. Mm-hmm. So really solving a lot of issues, but also providing a great opportunity for people to get involved in our work. We can't do what we do without volunteers. And so we have the Food Rescue Hero app that we actually developed here in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And people can download it on the App Store and get out there, quick registration, and then see what food is available near them and where it needs to go. It leads you all through that process. And it's very quick, again, because it is usually fresh food, or could be something from a bakery, or even prepared food from a convenience store.
Oh, okay. I love the app, and let's just fill in the newcomer, the Food Rescue Hero. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Food Rescue Hero
app. It's been around for a while, as you said, developed here. It's being used in other cities. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. So that's really one of our exciting things about our organization. As you said, we have a lot of things going on, and not just here in Pittsburgh, but we have 24 other cities.
My goodness.
And regions using our Food Rescue Hero software platform. Cleveland, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Atlanta, even in California. Vancouver's one of our international places.
Big cities.
Yes.
And it all started in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Incredible. And we should say for listeners, this is kind of like the matchmaking app. You have partners out there, whether it's a big or small grocery store, a mom and pop store, as you said, maybe a convenience store, and restaurants that have surplus food, and they're alerting you. It goes on the app as a rescue, and then the volunteers can find it, and they can do a rescue once, or they could go back and rescue many times. Is that right?
Yeah, people can pick up a regular rescue, so they know Monday at 10 they're going to pick up from a food donor and then get it right to a nonprofit. So it's also really a great way to build relationships in community. So we say it's people-powered technology.
I love it.
So you have the beauty of the app, but also the beauty of talking to people. So when you get to the grocery store or restaurant, you're, working with the person there to put the food in your car or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And then at the nonprofit partner, there's often volunteers there as well to help get the food out. Yeah. It's a really special experience.
Can I just say, I love the idea of logistics as matchmaking.
It is.
That's so romantic.
Greg, how long has the organization been doing the ready-to-eat meals? What's the history around that?
6 or 7 years. Well, about 7 years.
Yeah.
I've been with the organization for about 6 years, so let's say 7. It started as an entry to a competition, I believe the Uprise competition, and it was like the second runner-up.
Oh, my.
For that as a concept. I think that the project really started as a way to be like an internal partner, like an internal version for us to test how our partnerships could go.
Yes.
Because again, it's all about these relationships, right? So we get to use the app, receive, donations, rescues from volunteers. We're like experiencing the whole thing in real time and able to report back on how that went, what's different, what's buggy, what's good. And at the same time, again, like explore these ways of creating depth of impact, right?
So, I'm just sort of thinking too, beyond what we're talking about so far with rescuing food and getting it to the people that need it, I imagine that it's really an incredible environmental impact as well, right? We don't want that food going into a landfill. Good thing for the earth, not just good for people.
Correct.
Absolutely. I think when we started this work, 40% of food was heading into the waste stream.
Wow.
Which, when you think about all the resources that go into the production of food, whether it's the farmer, the transportation, the putting it on grocery shelves, and then that it would not get into people's homes, which is the best intended use.
Right.
And then not just that, but go to the waste stream where it contributes to climate change. So, yeah, we're tackling a lot of issues and things with this. And so in that way, it's really exciting because a lot of people come to our work. The food insecurity piece of it is what they, really want to see make change. And then other people come to our work because they don't want to see the impact on the environment.
Yes.
So having all of those pieces of our mission kind of intertwine makes a big difference overall. And it's pretty special.
I am thinking about maybe there's a restaurant or a potential partner out there and they've never known about you for some reason or contacted you. How do you make that partnership connection happen?
A lot of it is word of mouth,
Yeah.
and Greg can chime in here as well. We try to get it out to restaurants, grocery stores. When new places open, we try to approach them pretty quickly to talk about our work. We make it as easy as possible because restaurants, grocery stores, they have a lot going on.
They're so busy already.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we can ensure them that if they're putting something out on a loading dock or by their, back door to be picked up, that it gets picked up and that it goes where it's intended to go. And then a lot of people are concerned around food safety.
Yes.
So there is federal policy. I think it's the Bill Emerson. Good Samaritan Act. So it makes sure that people feel safe donating food. And that was one of the original barriers. And I understand that from anyone's point of view.
Sure.
But it really helps assure people that food is getting where it needs to go quickly. It's not sitting out somewhere.
Right.
And that's also nice about our software is we have we can help our volunteers so nobody's getting lost out there looking for something. And then we know exactly when something is picked up and when it's delivered. So we know that it still maintains that food safety.
There's so much tech behind all of it.
Yeah, to piggyback on what Alyssa just said, it's a really clever and strong model. And I think, in my experience, our staff comes from a food background, and that's a big part of this. So to go back to your original question with the relationships, how do we build them? Some of us come with them built in. I knew a bunch of representatives, sales reps, and other folks at Cisco or Unify or anywhere. So we come knowing the food system a little bit. That's people who see the beauty in this model see it because they understand the food system, at least to some extent. And then we can explore from there. If I know that this is the layer of broadline distributors that we could be working with, then I have my call list right there.
Yes. How interesting. I mean, this is a whole world I don't know about. I presume I can't give you food, but are there some avenues you direct the household person who wants to maybe donate?
I think the best thing that I can advise for people would be composting at their homes, and that's pretty easy to do even these days. If you don't have a big backyard or something like that, there's lots of tools that are available to do home composting if people are concerned about food waste. But if you are at a business and say you have a gathering, a holiday party, or even another event that you might be catering, so we are happy to work with the caterers of those events to figure out how they would put food. It's not food that's been served.
Right.
It's been kept at temperature.
Right.
So there are a lot of guidelines around that. But our staff is really adept at answering questions. We have people available during the workday to answer any questions. If somebody has an ad hoc rescue, they maybe just over-ordered some ingredient and now they want to see it go out.
Right.
And that's one of the great things about the Good Food Project, too, is we often have larger quantities of specific items that we can't take to one of our nonprofit partners. They simply can't. They don't have the capacity of it. And one of the best ways to extend the life of food is freezing it. So when we make the meals and we freeze them, it just gives it a whole other life. Yeah.
Totally. And I think, we work with 400 plus nonprofit partners.
My goodness.
I believe that I've heard this statistic. I don't have the receipts, but Pittsburgh has more nonprofits per capita. So if people are looking to donate on an individual basis, I guarantee there's a nonprofit
place
near them.
Yeah. Are there also, is there a map of fridges that folks can donate food into? I think I saw that on the site.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So that's also sort of a...
Yeah, that's a good point. The free fridges.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Greg, you have me thinking about numbers when you just mentioned. I'd love to ask some more if you have the numbers. If not, it's not a test.
Sometimes we have the numbers.
I was wondering just generally how many folks outside of the volunteers, how many folks are at 412 Food Rescue doing all of these wonderful things?
Yeah,
what is our current lead? You would know.
Right. Yeah, we have a team of 30.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and our team is pretty interesting as well because we have fleet operators, people who are driving our trucks. And then we have software engineers, the people who are working on the technology. And our idea too is that we are an incubator of the technology. So because we do the 412 food rescue operations here in Pittsburgh, it can inform the Food Rescue Heroes software development. And at the same time, all of our partners out in these other cities and locations are testing things as well. And so they can bring that to our Food Rescue Hero team, the product team, and they can, then try it out here in Pittsburgh and inform the work. So it's really building that partnership that's important and makes our work unique as well.
Mm-hmm. Incredible. I think the one thing we also haven't talked about is you are a nonprofit. If folks want to donate not just food, do you have some great partners out there, or you're looking for financial partners? Probably all the time,
Always,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we're asked, what do we need? It's food and money.
Of course.
Yes. And we've been really fortunate to have great support from companies. Giant Eagle was a early company that came in really seeing the benefit of our work. Gordon Food Service has been an amazing partner to us, Trader Joe's, many others.
Wow.
And then at the same time, we have our nonprofits who are great with our, accepting the food, working with us and our team. So it's really been a special organization in that way.
Mm-hmm. I do want to ask another question, and this is going back a couple of years. There was an education arm called Cooking Matters, and that's how I got involved. I taught a couple of the Cooking Matters classes, and I did see it on your website. So where does that fall in the hood of the organization? Where does education fall in the hood of the organization now?
Somewhere in my world.
Oh, okay.
I think so. We were very involved with Cooking Matters.
Mm-hmm.
We had to pivot with the pandemic. We couldn't do in person.
Right. That was it.
Yeah. So we ended up pivoting towards kind of evergreen video content.
Yes.
And we put that out on the website and then pared down what we were doing and really focused on just meal production for the last couple of years. We're starting to get back into that space where I'm also, I think that this is my personal, I don't necessarily speak for the organization when I say this, but I speak for myself. Like there's something disparaging about education in that space. I think people have relationships to food and it's not my place to teach them food. It's, I think, our place to like listen and have conversation around food. And so we've been retooling what cooking, quote unquote, education looks like and trying to come back to the space a little more intentionally and a little more aware.
Got you. I bring up Cooking Matters. The program was a 6-week in-person class, teaching you how to cook. So I could see how the pandemic put a wrench into those things. And the video content is evergreen. It's there for the folks that want to learn. And really, the crux of this class was using healthy ingredients that are maybe at a lower cost. And also there was a component of showing you how to, think about shopping at a grocery store and stretching your dollar. But I do think that cooking and, even our cultural or family traditions, it's so personal, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Alyssa from 412 Food Rescue.
And this is Greg from 412 Food Rescue.
And you're listening to the Pittsburgh Dish.
Alyssa, the way we all met was at one of the more recent events at the Food Hub in Millvale. Can we talk about the meal that we had after the draft?
Yeah, sure. That was, what a great afternoon that was.
Yes.
And I appreciate you coming, Doug. It was wonderful to meet you there. So we were very involved in rescuing food during the NFL draft, and that was an incredible way to showcase the work that 412 Food Rescue does every day.
Yeah.
So it gave us a new audience to talk to some restaurants that we hadn't worked with before, but also to demonstrate the way that we are able to scale up and scale down. Nobody knew what would be available at the end of the draft.
Right.
We talked to some of our other cities that had held the NFL draft, and so we knew we could expect a lot of bottled water, maybe some things from catering. And then we started to think about, during the highlights of the draft, we're going to have a lot of our team members out and our volunteers rescuing the food, demonstrating our work. But what better way to demonstrate what we do is to showcase how food that is still good, surplus food, can be prepared. And luckily, Greg is a chef as well. And so was able to really think about what kind of food might we receive, how to put that together into a delicious meal, bring together some of our partners, both food donors and some of our volunteers, and Jamilka Vorgas and Diane from Lilith, which was an amazing to have them there as well. And then Greg was really the brains behind the meal and also the hands behind it, right?
Thanks.
So I'll let you talk about that.
Luckily,
First off, Greg, it was great. Multi-course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't just have like one dish. We had like 5 different dishes throughout the night and a dessert to go. I have jam somewhere in my cupboard right now. Tell me a little bit more about how you're thinking, because you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Luckily for that dinner, I have had 6 years of practice working with whatever comes. So yeah, a big part of the model for me in the prep kitchen is we want to showcase that there's plenty of food, right? It's about abundance and working from an abundance mindset. So we don't purchase anything ever. That's like the baseline rule.
Wow. I would think maybe, we have some rice or we have a pasta just as a base. You have nothing.
We
Even
just
spices people donate.
My goodness.
And butter, I think too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything. We have access to everything at some point in the timeline. And in the meantime, we work with substitution. We use our creativity in that way. So really, like earlier I was talking about the shift in mindset that it took. I'm really in service to the food and the community. And it's a really beautiful thing. I think 2 things I want to say about this. First, when I came to it, my conception of being a chef was almost like bending the food to my will.
Right. Your expression.
Exactly. And I think that's really common in a lot of spaces.
Culture. Yeah.
In a lot of spaces in the culture. And this work, when I saw what was possible with the rescue stream, I really had to shift my perspective, and it was a huge learning opportunity, and it has changed my life.
I'm just going to interject here too. I have to say, you're living almost like the Chopped or Iron Chef life every day. Like, what's in the basket? I don't know.
It's really fun.
But you're ready to go.
It's really, once you, it's almost like Zen mindset. Like once you let go of your resistance, it's really fun.
It just flows.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to rattle off what I can remember. We had like this cornbread starter dish. There was a lovely like pasta and like a chicken and a broth. And I just, again, I'm sort of gobsmacked. You had nothing in your mind that like, oh, well, if we need, we'll pull from this pantry or whatever. You used everything that was left over
in-house
from the draft weekend. My goodness.
Yeah. It was
Incredible.
amazing. Yeah. And there's a lot of dignity around that work as well. Just thinking about making sure that what we're putting out there is delicious, that demonstrates healthy ingredients and the use of that, but then also speaks to people's cultural backgrounds and what they might want to eat or be able to eat, or they have certain dietary restrictions. Like we really pay attention to all of that when we're making meals.
Yeah, I mean, that speaks right to the second point that I wanted to get to. The most inspirational chef that I ever worked for taught me the most important thing that they taught me, the biggest, most radical thing that I learned in working in kitchens prior to this 412 Food Rescue Kitchen was the power that food has to bring people together. That's what's important to me about it. I know that there's lots of stuff that's important about food, but that is what's beautiful to me about this work. And that was like how we got to the 4th and Feast event.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking, I often say that too. Food brings people together, and we want to make sure that when people are coming together for food, around the dignity of the meal and really paying attention to what we're putting out into the community.
Yeah, there's a handful of basic premises that I work from day to day. 1, the food is good. 2, everybody deserves access to it.
Well put.
Thank you.
Yeah, food is a basic need, but it's also a basic right. And there is nobody that should not have food. So I think we all operate from that. And we have a very low barrier to accepting food from us. We get it out to community partners, and then individuals come to wherever they may be located. But we might go to a very small kitchen at a religious organization in McKeesport, or we could be going to a fairly large nonprofit downtown Pittsburgh. So we really try to get the food out equitably and distribute it, again, with the really the care for the community.
You have me thinking, and Greg, you sparked this. You both have such a passion for what you're doing right now. I'd like to ask a little bit about you both more personally and relation to food. Greg, I'll start with you, since you came up in, the chef world, so to speak. What drew you there? Like, what was food life like as a youngster? Were you cooking at an early age, or were people cooking for you?
That's so interesting. I'm an only child. My relationship to food was strained, I think, until I started cooking. I think
Really?
I moved into cooking to build a better relationship with food.
Wow.
A lot of microwave TV dinner type stuff in my childhood. My father's father was a chef, and his oldest brother was a chef as well.
Oh my.
He was an immigrant to America from Barbados, and so my grandfather and my uncle stayed behind in Barbados and ran their restaurant.
Okay.
My father was a doctor who loved cooking. He would only cook, however, on holidays. So like the best food was coming once a year, twice a year. And it was like a joyous occasion for him.
Yes.
But then the rest of the year he was just working. He was on call. He was at the emergency room. He was doing all this other stuff. And my mom and I my mom had a very strange relationship to food.
Oh.
A lot of canned goods that are like expired, a lot of just like, no shade to my mom. She was doing what she could do.
Right.
And I think it's generational.
How a lot of folks live.
Yeah, totally. It's how she grew up. And, but my mom is like a person who doesn't drink water, of any kind. You know what I mean? Okay. So like two very different experiences.
Yeah,
with
from
food
your
coming
parents.
together,
Yeah.
right?
On your dad's side, it sounds like the cooking's really in the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I spent less and like not very much time with that family because they were
Right.
so distant.
Mm-hmm.
So I think cooking was accessible to me as a job, as a youth coming out of college. And I saw the value of repairing my relationship, or at least exploring my relationship to food. And I started washing dishes, and then I moved up to baking the cornbread muffins for the guys at the barbecue place. And then just kept gathering skills.
going.
Yeah. And learning more and more about food. So that's what drove me.
Well, look where you
more
are
than anything.
now. My
Yeah,
goodness.
And yeah, now I'm still kind of exploring that with this work. Like I'm constantly learning, and I'm constantly at play with the food in a way that's not, nothing is by rote in this kitchen, right?
I also think you're building relationships for others with food, not just for
That's
yourself.
the hope. And maybe that's what my like most mature phase looks like.
What a
right?
great story.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for asking.
Alyssa, what about you and food in this organization? What was food life like growing up for you, and what led you here?
Yeah, it's interesting to think about. So I grew up in the city in Pittsburgh, in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood, which has a lot of international people
Absolutely.
and restaurants, and even back in the day, we often went to restaurants. My parents wanted to expose us to all different types of cultures, and it was delicious food as well. And my mom worked as well, and so oftentimes meals were sometimes it was Kraft macaroni and cheese and some cut up oranges, but oftentimes it would be neighborhoods would get together and we would have meals. We had a wonderful Italian family that lived in we were in a duplex, and they were on the floor above us.
Oh.
And I still remember like the pizza they made and spaghetti and pasta. And whenever the Steelers went to the Super Bowl, that was the place to be.
Oh my gosh.
And then my first job was actually working as a hostess at Rhoda's Deli in Squirrel Hill. And then Greg and I were actually talking about our food. In college, I worked at the deli counter.
Okay.
And so, boy, that was very interesting. A lot of fun characters would come in, especially Saturday morning, and people were very precise about when you were cutting their meat, how it was sliced, and then when you put it on the scale. So I think that's just, one of the great things about having that experience in kitchens and in food. And then my brother actually ran a couple of restaurants in Pittsburgh, and called upon the family. Before my mom became a travel agent, she was a waitress.
Okay.
So I remember even as a young child, she would bring her tip money home and spread it on the floor. And that was the activity for me and my brothers to put it in, roll the coins.
Yes.
Restaurant go way back. And so one of the things when I've been in this role here for 2 years, and but my career has been nonprofit, human services, really, connecting people to benefits and to resources. And when you think about food and food insecurity, and especially then the environmental impact, it just rolled it all up very nicely in my past and my passions.
Yes. All of those experiences sort of collided into a great role for you right now.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you so much. Yeah. Thank you both for sharing a little bit about yourselves. I would like to turn back to the organization too. So we just mentioned the meal we had after the draft. What's ahead? Maybe throughout the year, are there any new events or goals coming up?
We are on a path to rescue 5 million pounds of food this year.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think last year we hit around 4.7, 4.8 million pounds. So in doing that, it takes a lot of effort and partnerships and collaboration. And we have such a fantastic team of people at 412 Food Rescue, just really coming to the work, passionate about the impact we're making, smart, really innovative and flexible. So we had the event after the draft. The draft took a lot of our attention and focus for several months beforehand. And so now I think we took a little bit of a very quick,
breather,
deep breath. And we're working on some partnerships and hopefully events that will wrap around that. We know we're going to do something in September. We haven't quite nailed it down in terms of an event. We have... we call it the Carrot Club. So it's a monthly giving program, and we have that has really expanded over the last year. So people who support our work month to month, and we want to gather that group together and thank them and then offer them opportunities to get involved in our work. So there's always something going on. Pay attention to our website, 412foodrescue.org. to learn about opportunities to volunteer day to day at the kitchen, but then also how to download the app and then other things we might have going on.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's great. Do you want to talk about the...
Sure. So for me, my focus is currently on the food as medicine space, as well as that quote unquote education piece, which I think I'll refer to as cooking engagement for the moment, and really just engaging people around conversations around food.
Good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of focus currently on the food as medicine space. Obviously, nutrition is health. How can we forge stronger partnerships with healthcare organizations or with communities or both? Other services that are focused on, nutrition and health. How can we build stronger partnerships, build better relationships that serve the community?
Still just marching on with the good work. I did want to ask a sort of a side question if you're not doing it. Have I seen a partnership with, I want to say it's breweries, right? Have you come out with like a beer in the past? Is that something you're still doing?
Yes. We have done that in the past. Oftentimes when we've had surplus specific goods.
Mass donation. We've taken care of every partner and there's still more tomatoes or there's still more whatever.
I was thinking about the tomato beer that Vellum made, Vellum fermentation last year. And I think we're working on something else with them as well. So we're always looking for more partnerships. I know we've done one with Cinderlands as well, where we provided strawberries.
And the Pane Pronto collaboration as well. Was
it bread?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is part of a major part of beer making.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pane Pronto, part of the Dianoia's group
Correct.
of
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah.
I think we did some with Millie's too, ice cream.
Tons of,
Wow.
Yeah, these are nice business partnerships just to keep people aware, keep ourselves in the loop with our food partners, with our food donor partners, et cetera.
So smart. I love
And the
that.
strawberries that you have some of the jam.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a great example where there was a company that ordered strawberries, I believe. And so we made it into a jam.
As well as, it made it to a lot of partners as well.
Okay.
I only took, I think, half of a pallet for the jam, and there were many, many pallets of strawberries.
Yeah, which is, a beautiful thing to be able to put out into the community to have those fresh berries.
Right. Well, it's been so lovely to get to know both of you and the organization. I always like to remind folks that are listening how they can find and follow you. Alyssa, you had just mentioned it earlier. The website is 412foodrescue.org.
Yes.
Can you remind us the other social places you exist, maybe Instagram or Facebook?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Okay.
That covers it.
I think
yes.
so.
Yes.
And all 412 Food Rescue across the board.
Right. Food Rescue Hero also has a presence on LinkedIn that you can follow our partners across the country and internationally who are using the same software, and then some of our product development as well.
And the app is Food Rescue Hero.
Yes.
So we can go to any app store and download that, and we can start rescuing food.
Yeah. Right.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be great.
Well, again, it's been such a pleasure. I always have a customary question at the end. Yes.
Uh-oh.
So the name of the show is The Pittsburgh Dish. What's the best dish you have had to eat this past week?
I think for me, we had some broccoli at home, and I roasted it with I love roasted vegetables.
Absolutely.
So easy.
My favorite.
A little oil. I like a little salt. I like a lot of pepper.
Yes.
I put a lot of pepper on it. And then we made a pasta, and it went right on top of that, a little bit of oil. And it was delicious.
Perfect.
Yeah, and easy. Sometimes when you open your refrigerator and you see, I saw this bag of broccoli and I was like, oh, what can I do with that? I don't want it. Of course, I don't want it to go bad, right? And it was just very easy. And luckily, my family enjoys it as well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Alyssa, do you like to cook?
I do like to cook.
Yeah.
One of my resolutions this year was every month to try a new recipe. Because I get like a lot of cooking magazines, Bake from Scratch, and all, and even other magazines that have recipes. And I love to read the recipes, and so I'm like, let me try one.
Yeah, let's take action.
not just make the same thing over and over. So, so that's been kind of fun. So I do like to cook. I don't always have the time that I'd like to.
Well, broccoli and pasta sound perfect.
Yeah, it was delish.
Greg, what about you? We know you like to cook too.
God, I love talking about food. Okay. So the cabbage and ginger and chicken that you had.
Yes, this was like a braise, almost like a stew.
It's like a
right?
viral Instagram recipe that and I've been loving it lately. I made it again yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so this is a brothy concoction, right? We had like whole chicken parts, right?
It's a one pot recipe.
Oh.
It's like a crock pot recipe. All of the moisture, I mean, this is like a traditional Chinese medicine thing. Like all of the moisture comes from the food itself. You're supposed to be eating your moisture, right?
Yes.
Eating your hydration. So it's cabbage. I used chicken legs, and thighs, and
some of the best parts.
some ginger, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
You can just
let it go.
You just put that in your crock pot, seal it up, and in an hour, the chicken is fall apart. It's juicy. The cabbage has let its moisture out, but it stays in the pot. And all of those flavors are working well together.
So good.
Yeah. So I love that. I also had a really great onigiri in New York City like 3 weeks ago that was life-changing.
Okay, you're giving us a bonus part two.
Yeah. It was like this little coffee shop and just crushingly good.
So good.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
That's great.
Well, again, Alyssa, Greg, thank you both so much for spending time with me today. And thanks for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
Thank you so much for having us.
This was
It's
awesome.
been a pleasure, Doug.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Doug. This has been a lot of fun. We really appreciate it.
Oh, well, thanks for all the great work. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Up next, are Swifties giving the white wine industry a bump? Catherine Montest fills us in. Hey, Catherine.
Hi there, Doug.
You know, you are always our resident resource when it comes to wine, Catherine. I just had a simple question for you this week, and it's what's hot in wine right now?
The thing that's kind of hot in wine right now comes from Taylor Swift.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So during her Eras tour, and they filmed the documentary and it was on Disney.
Yes.
In one of the episodes, there was kind of a long shot, I think it was episode 5, where there was a bottle of wine in the background. And, Taylor Swift fans, they are all about the details.
I know where this is going. That wine took off, didn't it?
It sold out within days, the specific wine. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on there.
Did Taylor Swift even drink this wine?
That's a good question.
Right.
So Taylor Swift has, since back in the 20-teens, when she was on an episode of the Ellen DeGeneres show and Ellen asked her what she drank, immediately, boom, white wine. Oh. I drink Sancerre, Chardonnay, and Sauvignon Blanc. And that was her answer like 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
The bottle that was on the table was a bottle of Sancerre. Oh. So she's very consistent.
Yeah, she's committed.
And so Sancerre is a white wine. It's from a very specific region in the Loire Valley in France. And that region is called Sancerre.
Okay.
And what's kind of fun is Sancerre is made with Sauvignon Blanc grapes.
Oh.
So she named Sauvignon Blanc twice, but probably didn't know it.
Well, that's okay, Taylor. It's
totally okay.
She's not you, Catherine.
Oh, Doug, you are too kind. But yeah, so Sancerre, it's got really wonderful flavors of like citrus and a little bit of elderflower and some grassy notes. And they say that it has a gooseberry flavor in it, but I've never tasted a gooseberry, so I have no idea if it does or if it doesn't.
Okay. We can probably go to IKEA and find some jam to take care of that with you.
Gooseberry jam?
I think they have it.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like that's on the shopping list now. And the Sancerres tend to be very light-bodied and they're somewhat dry. So they're really good to sip on a warm afternoon.
Okay.
And they pair really well with a lot of foods. So they're going to go great with a salad, great with a lot of your seafood dishes.
Okay.
And what I like about Sancerre, as opposed to some other Sauvignon Blancs, is that it's softer and it's much more approachable. A lot of Sauvignon Blancs, particularly those from New Zealand or Australia, tend to have a note to them that wine professionals call cat pee.
Oh. I don't think I'd like that.
Well, the wine doesn't taste like that, but it has a little bit of a whiff of an aroma.
It's one of those notes.
It's one of those notes. And if you're smelling a Sancerre from the Loire Valley in France, you're going to smell that brightness and the crispness of the citrus and the flowers and the grass. And if you're smelling one from other parts of the world, you might get a little whiff of something the cat left behind.
But not the Sancerre.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a note that comes along with that wine.
I don't know what to say next. I want to say that the Sancerre keeps a clean litter box.
I think the wine world has a little debt of thanks to our good friend Taylor Swift, because wine sales have been kind of down, and millennials, of which she is one, have started kind of picking up the ball and drinking more wines, and actually, according to a couple of studies, are drinking more wines than the boomers, than me and my peers.
Interesting.
And white wines, in particular a Sauvignon Blanc, are kind of leading the way. Millennials are really getting into white wines. And in fact, last year, white wine outsold red wine for the first time in over 30 years.
So, Catherine, we're talking about Sancerre. It's a white wine that is a Sauvignon Blanc. Doesn't smell like cat pee.
Not in the least.
And it's hot right now because of our friend Taylor Swift.
It's real hot right now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for putting this on our radar. And thanks for being on the Pittsburgh Dish.
Always a pleasure, Doug. Thank you.
You can learn more about Catherine at her website, yourfairywinemother.com. If you enjoyed the show, we would love for you to become a monthly monetary supporter. Just click the link at the bottom of this show's description or visit our website at pittsburghdish.com and tap the support button. And if you want to follow my own food adventures, you can find me on social media at Doug Cooking. That's our show for this week. Thanks again to all of our guests and contributors, and to Kevin Selecki of Carnegie Accordion Company for providing the music to our show. We'll be back again next week with another fresh episode. Stay tuned.